Okay, this is an unboxing of the Pink Floyd Division Bell 20th Anniversary Deluxe box set. This is my fourth time recording this, so let's get on with it and get it right, shall we? So pulling off the cover, or the box top, the first thing you see is this magnified, blown up cover of the metalheads that are synonymous with this album. On the sides, you've got these little ghosted images right here, and then the Pink Floyd Division Bell and the little Pink Floyd seal on the opposite side. It's red, and then you've also got on one of the sides these kind of dot looking things. I'm sure they mean something to someone, maybe an enigma, but who knows. So these are the liner notes, and this is a detail shot of the metal and sandstone heads on the front and back. I didn't probably do that right. Okay, so there they are. And inside, on the first page, you've got the track listing and personnel on the record. And then from there on, it's the same as the CD booklet. So you've got the same pictures from the album. They're just larger, so you can actually see the film grain, which I think is really cool. And then you've got lyrics to the songs. And I really like these large format re-releases because I love looking at pictures of art. I mean, these are pieces of art in my opinion. So I love looking at art in as large a format as possible. And it's no different with album art, and it's no different with liner notes. Sometimes on CDs, to get all the lyrics in, you have to go to like 6 or 8 point font, and it hurts my eyes at least. So this goes from Cluster 1 to High Hopes, and then it ends right there. It's a nice booklet for the liner notes. You have a brochure here for 320 kilobyte a second and 96 kilohertz dynamic range audio. This envelope has a seal with 6 monkeys on it. I believe this seal was used with the original release, the 1994 Division Bell release. And inside, you've got these little gloss prints which are advertising the High Hopes and Keep Talking single. For me, personally, all of these are kind of weird, except for one, and I'll bring that up when I see it. But like this, like the text for this looks so cheesy. I believe it's this one. This one. I believe that you could use this in a marketing campaign in any year with no problem, because the font is nice and classic, the image is interesting. The rest of these just have super weird fonts, and they look too new for the image. So I'm just not sure you'd be able to use those in any way possible. And I'm not really sure what these are for. They're just something interesting. It's art from the High Hopes music video, or the images used during the live show from the Pulse video. And then here we have some cardstock art prints. These are definitely matte. There's no gloss to them at all. These are the metal heads with flags instead of lights, and it looks like a storm over there, which is interesting and different from the original album cover. These are the sandstone heads in the same field with the same castle in the background. This is the detail shot from the liner notes of the metal heads, detail shot of the sandstone heads, and this image. This was released with the music film for Marooned, which kind of kicked off this whole 20th anniversary thing. I don't think it goes with the aesthetic of the Division Bell. To me, honestly, the first time I saw it, I didn't think it was a Storm Thorgerson image. Looking at it now with kind of this matte finish, I could see it, but the first time I saw it, I honestly thought it was just some dude with Photoshop making a quote-unquote Pink Floyd image. This also reminds me of the album cover for Rick Wright's Broken China, which I believe was recorded around the same time as the Division Bell. So this may have been a concept art for the Division Bell, and then also that picture from Broken China. And whereas the rest of the band kind of settled on the metal heads, Rick Wright may have taken his image and used it for his album. But that's enough about that. Now we get to the singles. So we have Take It Back with a B-side of Astronomy Domain. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. I'm sorry, I know I mispronounced it. This is a quote-unquote red vinyl. I'm surprised they didn't say it was a maroon vinyl. But you've got the A-side Take It Back and the B-side Astronomy Domain live from the 1995 tour, which is also known as Pulse. The video of which is called Pulse. It was called the Division Bell Tour, whatever. Interestingly, these don't have a space for a 45 adapter, and I'm kind of mad because I bought a 45 adapter. Not for this record in particular, but just because I thought that's what you use with 45s. It's a downside for me. It's a bit of tradition that's kind of been lost, but on the plus side, you get these nice, cool pictures that can kind of fit in the whole thing now. This is the High Hopes with Keep Talking single that those little gloss cards were advertising. This is on a clear vinyl, if I can pull it out. So this is the actual vinyl, and I think that is awesome. It should look awesome on my acrylic platter. So the A side is High Hopes, the B side is Keep Talking. Right here we have a poster for the High Hopes Keep Talking single. On one side we have the teddy bear from the High Hopes music video, and then on the other side we have one of my favorite things in this box set, the cosmonaut with the very long black cape. If I could get the fold lines out of this, I would probably hang this. I love this picture. I was so happy to see it in the box set. And then finally we have a double A-side of High Hopes, Keep Talking, and One of These Days Live from the film Pulse or the 1995 Division Bell Tour. I'll be interested to see how my needle copes with the explosions at the end of One of These Days. But you may be asking, why a double A-side on blue vinyl? It is a double A-side because you've got a design on the back that is not etched in, but kind of melted in. It is the 6 monkeys that were on the envelope that I showed earlier and are kind of featured as imagery throughout the whole Division Bell product, I guess you could say. This is really cool. It's not embossed and it's not etched. It looks melted and it sits flat with the record, or as flat as could possibly be. So it shouldn't affect the playing of the double A-side. So the next thing in the box set is the vinyl copy of the Division Bell. However, before we get to that, I want to share a little bit of my record collection. This is an original pressing of the Division Bell from 1994. The inside of which has all of the, well, first off, it's got this cool kind of bleached out sandstone head design. They probably just put a spotlight on it and color edited it somewhere. And then you've got the artwork from the liner notes on this side. The liner notes themselves are just a small piece of paper with the lyrics and personnel on the side with the detail shots of the metal head. Nothing really spectacular. The vinyl itself is just one vinyl. All the tracks fit on one record, although the sound quality is compromised because of that. And High Hopes, arguably one of the best tracks on this album, kind of gets the short end of the stick because it has to fit in that inner ring. But that's the album. Let me turn it right side up for you. Yeah, this is the original pressing. And what I can tell you is that this is very flimsy. And when I play this, it sounds like the audio is going through a tremolo pedal, which means that the album has been warped with use and years and temperature change and all of that, which I'm hoping to avoid on this vinyl record. Now, these vinyl are 180 grams, and there's 2, so side A, side B, side C, side D, and it's about 3 tracks a record. Except for side D, which is just Lost for Words and High Hopes. And so you've got the, it's not the regular, but it is the well-known metal head cover on the Division Bell. On the back, you've got the sandstone heads, And then on the inside, you have the metalheads in a very cool, dark, almost city-like setting. I can see little bokeh balls that indicate lighting or a city. And then on the flip side of that, you've got the sandstone heads in the same field as the metal heads on the cover. The design of this leads me to believe that you can kind of flip this around to have your favorite cover as the front. But I'm not going to do that because the first thing that I do with this box set is not going to be ripping the cover for the vinyl. These are the sleeves for the records. Very nice and glossy, the detail shot of the metal heads right there. The vinyl itself, as I said, is about 3 tracks a side and 180 grams, and it has the individual number and side of the record etched into the runoff ring there. And then on this you have a detail of the metal head. It's the same on the second record, except that it's a different color of design on side C, and then the sandstone head detail on side D. I would show you that, but I believe I am running out of time, so I'm going to go right on to the CD and Blu-ray that you get with this box set. The CD, I'm not entirely sure this is any different from the Why Pink Floyd Division Bell remaster. I plugged it into my computer and it didn't read to be any differently. However, I was not using a very good media player, so it probably is different for all intents and purposes. And then this is a Blu-ray disc, which contains the marooned music film, which comes in a PCM stereo mix and a 5.1 mix. And then it also comes with a stereo and 5.1 mix of the entire Division Bell album. These are audio only, 96 kilohertz, 24-bit resolution. And as I said, one is stereo, one is 5.1. Finally, on the back of this box set, or I guess I should say the sides, there is nothing on the sides of any particular interest. But on the back of the box set, you have the Pink Floyd logo that was designed with this album. So that's a nice little accent to the whole box set. And that is it. That is the entire box set. This was $124 on Amazon.